Evening, I call this meeting to order. Will you please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Start with a roll call.
Council President Albertson. Councilmember Rivera.
Here.
Councilmember O'Halloran.
Here.
Councilmember McIrvin.
Here.
Councilmember Prince.
Here.
Councilmember Perez.
Here.
And Councilmember Vaughn. Roll call, Mr. Mayor, 2 absent.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Council President.
I move to excuse Council President Albertson.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to excuse President James Albertson. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. All right, motion carries. We're going to start tonight with a proclamation, National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week.
A proclamation. Whereas emergencies can occur at any time that require police, fire, or emergency medical services, and whereas when an emergency occurs, the prompt response of police officers, firefighters, and EMS providers is critical to the protection of life and preservation of property. And whereas the safety of our police officers, EMS providers, firefighters, and specialty team members depend upon the quality of accuracy of information obtained from residents who call the Valleycom 911 Emergency Communications Center. And whereas the city of Renton is served by Valley Communications Center 911, known as Valleycom 911, and whose public safety telecommunicators, PSTs, handle over 616,000 phone calls and over 472,000 dispatchable calls for service a year. Valleycom 911 PSTs are highly trained professionals who work under a uniquely stressful environment. Valleycom 911 PSTs are first responders, providing life-saving pre-arrival instructions, triage, mediation, de-escalation, and the calm presence on the phone and radio that is focused on both responder and public safety. And whereas under RCW 386020, public safety telecommunicator means a first responder working in a primary public safety answering point, regardless of title, who has successfully completed the training, certification, or recertification standards established in the state of Washington. And whereas this includes an employee of the state, a local public agency, or an independent governmental agency whose primary responsibility is to receive, process, transmit, or dispatch 911 emergency and non-emergency calls for law enforcement, fire, emergency medical, and other public safety services by telephone, radio, or other communication devices, and includes an individual who promoted from this position and supervises individuals who perform these functions. And now, therefore, I, Armando Pavoni, Mayor of the City of Renton, do hereby proclaim April 13th through 16th, 2025 to be National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week in the City of Renton, and I encourage all residents to join me in the special observance. In witness thereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Renton to be affixed this 14th day of April, 2025, signed Armando Pavoni, Mayor of the City of Renton.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Council President.
I move the proclamation be adopted as read.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Council President Perez, seconded by Councilmember Prince, that the proclamation be adopted as read. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. All right, motion carries. And tonight, Vonnie Mayer, the executive director, was going to come and accept the proclamation. Unfortunately, she's home and not feeling well today, so we told her to stay home and get better. So I'm going to just say a few words about the telecommunicators, and I'll say that, often it's one of our worst days of our lives when we have to call 911. It's a stressful time when we're needing either a firefighter or a police officer, and these individuals that take these calls do an amazing job of helping folks when they're going through their time of need, whether it's providing assistance to provide medical assistance or making sure that the police officers are dispatched to the correct location. So we're part of Valley Communications team with Kent and Auburn and Federal Way, and the folks that work at that facility are amazing. And the work they do, they truly are part of the public safety community. So I'd just like to thank them for all that they do, and we'll have Vonnie out soon. to address the council. So with that, we're going to move on. Thank you. Next up is the administrative report.
All right, good evening, everyone. Please stop by to chat with Chief Administrative Officer Ed Van Bailey at the next What's Brewing Wednesday, April 16th at the Berliner Pub, 221 Main Avenue South from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. All ages are welcome. Please check out the Facebook event for more details. Save the date, Saturday, April 26th at 9 a.m. Join us at Highlands Park and Neighborhood Center at 800 Edmonds Avenue Northeast as we celebrate Arbor Earth Day with a volunteer day at the park. Dive into a fun day outdoors and help make a difference in our community. For more information and to register for this event, please visit rentonwa.gov/volunteer. Information about preventative street maintenance, traffic impact projects, and road closures happening this week can be found at rentonwa.gov/traffic. All projects are weather permitting, and unless otherwise noted, streets will always remain open.
All right, thank you. Next up is audience comment. We do have a few people signed up to speak. I want to remind everyone that all remarks must be addressed to the council as a whole. When I call your name, please step up to the podium. You'll have 3 minutes to speak. Please state your name and city of residence for the record. When you see the little yellow light flashing, please start winding up your comments. And first up is Matt Hanby.
Hi, good evening, Mr. Mayor, council members. Matt Hanby, North Renton resident. I've been here every week for probably longer than you would prefer me to have been here, but I made a commitment that I would be here every week, and I try to be a person of my word. So I'm not perfect, but here I am to talk about the Logan 6. So tonight I thought I'd take a different tact, and I brought a visual aid. So I hope you're not offended, but here it is, and it's basically a recounting of the last over a year. And it goes from February 2024 to April 2025. Okay, so 413. Okay, that's the number of days since you were asked to do something about a project, right? And we started off, Cheryl Freeze said, talked about parking, right? We talked about the traffic concerns and probably one or two other things. So in November of 2024, we delivered a petition with 86 signatures and asking you to basically do the same. So 350. That was the number of days it took this council to vote to end its appeal role in the land use. So imagine in all this time, we were meeting with the city, we were expressing our concerns, and as a policy matter, the city, rightly so, said you should work with the city council. So again, we had to wait 350 days until, in theory, we could address you as a policy body. On February 10th, 2025, you voted to remove yourself from the appeal role. The next day, February 11th, 2025, that was when the hearing before the hearing examiner occurred. The next day. So you can probably imagine the frustration we have and have had for 350 days. Okay? So on February 11th, in theory, you were available to work with us. So it's been 63 days since then, okay? From February 11th, 2025 to today. And we haven't seen anything from our council. The issues we raised had to do with parking, Logan access. We talked about an interim zoning ordinance, and even more recently, an adjustment so the developer would have to show that the transition from our neighborhood to where they want to build reflects and acknowledges the long-standing neighborhood we're in. So I don't see me on this screen, but hopefully someone saw this. This is mostly for you. But I wanted just to remind you, 413 days, 350 days, and 63 days of no action. So thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next up is Cheryl Freeze.
Cheryl Freeze, Renton resident, Wells Avenue North. There was a flyer on my door a few years ago from someone named Matt Hanby sharing information about a proposed development And fast forward to Matt and I getting elected as president and vice president of the North Renton Neighborhood Association. Matt was still really passionate and concerned about this proposed development. He continued to act as an individual, however, until the information was shared with the neighborhood, and the neighborhood made it clear that they wanted to take action and oppose, as proposed, this development. The North Renton Neighborhood Association was contacted by Matt Feldmeyer, the project manager for eminent domain of Renton High School, who was also a PM on the Sartori project. And Matt Feldmeyer and one of his teammates asked to meet with the North Renton Neighborhood Association, so we did. Thereafter, 3 of us walked the Renton High School neighborhood with flyers. We spoke to residents and businesses, and we let them know that we were going to host a meeting to open dialogue. That specific neighborhood is not part of North Renton or South Renton, so we adopted them and offered our support. And really what I want to emphasize is it doesn't matter what your zip code is or what neighborhood you're affiliated with or whether you have an official neighborhood association or not. It doesn't matter if we're talking about the derelict building on Park, Logan 6, the asphalt plant, RHS eminent domain, crime, traffic, developments. We're all residents of Renton, and we should care about everything the city, our neighbors, and the residents face. We've heard we're NIMBYs. I had to look that up. We've heard, why should you care? It's not your neighborhood. We've heard you're just making noise. We've heard we don't provide solutions. We've heard. And we choose to ignore these distractions. We choose to ignore what feels like an attempt to create divisiveness. And instead, we choose to show up and stand up for each other and show up for Renton and the type of city we deserve. We should all band together to create a better Renton, and that's what we're trying to do. We wish you, the city council, and you, the mayor, would join us in this endeavor. Thank you.
All right, next up is Gabriel Jones.
Hello, council members, Mr. Mayor. My name is Gabriel Jones, City of Renton resident, and I'm here today to talk about the protest and counter-protest at Brewmaster's Tap Room over the weekend. On Saturday of this week, at the monthly Drag Queen Story Hour and Bingo, hosted by local queer icon Celia Ostay for me, we received so many comments claiming the event to be dangerous due to the CBD and roaming dogs. Instead, people would show up to protect childhood. This comes a couple of years after a hateful attack by anti-queer losers at the same bar. This weekend, the patrons of the bar, the children attending the story hour, and the community overall was incredibly lucky for the support that the community showed. Showing up wearing pride flags and sign in hands, a DJ playing great music, queer flags flying, and security there to de-escalate any situations that may arise. While we did have a couple of hate-filled people arrive to spread anti-queer hatred and propaganda, the residents of this city showed up to say no. We are here for our queer people, we are here for this community, and we aren't going anywhere. Every day when the world gets scary, I am always so heartened by the people who will stand up to hate. From the bottom of my heart, thank to everyone for showing up. Thank you for making your voice heard and for fighting for us. And to all of you who made it and couldn't make it but still expressing to all of you who made it or who couldn't but still express support, love and solidarity forever and ever. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next up is Eric Wolf.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, Council. I'm Eric Wolf. My wife, Steve, is here with me. We are longtime Renton residents, same house for 25 years. But it feels like the quality in our neighborhood is slipping a little bit. And I want to run down a little bit of a list here that I brought with me. Current issue, we have dogs barking in the neighborhood late at night. I took a picture on my phone the other night at 12:30 just to snap the time when the dogs were barking. This is a violation of a noise ordinance. We're working with animal control on the issue. They came out today and said we don't see it as an issue at this time. So we're going to continue to reach out. I'll call them late at night when I hear the dogs bark again. But beyond that, some other things going on. We're on Jones Avenue Northeast. No sidewalks, cars speeding by, exceeding the speed limit. That's where we walk our dog on a daily basis. It's dangerous. There's an intersection at 20th and Jones where there's typically a big white truck parked near the corner that blocks the view of that intersection. So much so that I won't use 20th to turn left to go to my home. I avoid it because of the speeding cars, because the view is blocked by parked cars. We've also got businesses running out of residential homes. There's an exterminator running out of a home over on 20th. And there's a house kitty corner from us on Jones where they have some kind of used appliance thing going on where there are appliances set up in front of their house. In addition to that, there's an RV on the back of the lot that's been there for months with a fence around it. I think that's an ordinance violation as well. There have been up to 17 cars parked on that same lot in the morning when I walk the dog.
Forget the buses.
Don't forget the what?
The buses that come and people stay overnight.
Oh, there's actually some buses that come in out of there and drop people off and pick them up. We're not sure what's going on there, but it's something that probably isn't supposed to be going on in a residential neighborhood. They've also constructed a big building back behind the home that's there. I applied for a conditional use permit last year as part of the ADU project. We didn't go through with it because of the cost, but I had to put a sign up in front of my house that said what we wanted to do. None of that has happened over there. So not sure what's going on there. And also, probably not an ordinance violation, but there's another home where they've torn up their front yard because they're parking cars directly in front of the house. Turned the front yard into a little bit of a mud pit. It's not our property, but when we look out the front of our house, we see it. So we enjoy where we live. I'm happy to give somebody a tour of the neighborhood if anybody'd like to come up. My email address is over on the list, and it'd be a privilege for me to show somebody around the neighborhood to see exactly what's going on. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, and we have one person signed up remotely.
Mr. Quinn, you can feel free to unmute yourself and you have 3 minutes to share.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Very good. Good evening, Mayor and council members. My name is Paul Quinn. I live in Sammamish. I'm speaking to you as an individual that cares about fairness and how Renton solid waste customers are charged for disposal. Right now, we charge our residents and businesses for disposal based on the size of the container being picked up. The effect of this message is to say we don't care about how much you put in or divert from the landfill. This approach is completely unfair as it charges all people based on the size of the container rather than what's in the container. And we know this is wrong as our water, our gas, and electricity charges are based on what we use rather than on the size of the wires and pipes connecting us to service. Number one that you received, I sent an email today with the handouts, shows a graphic of the trend of the monthly cost for garbage disposal for your single-family residences. It continues to go higher and higher. What's worse in this trend is that this city doesn't allow residents and businesses to reduce their costs for disposal by properly diverting materials for recycling and composting. In fact, the city unfairly increases costs to folks who work hard sorting recyclables and composting food scraps by charging them the very same as others who are indifferent to which waste stream their refuse goes into. It's unfair, it's wrong, and it can and should be changed by weighing the refuse each customer creates, just like the landfill charges the city's residents. So to begin this change, I recommend a pilot program called Smart Disposal, which will help significantly improve the city's diversion rates. And then number 3 outlines how Smart Disposal works in some detail. And I'll now briefly describe what Smart Disposal is. First of all, Smart Disposal is an initiative. It's not a company. which weighs each container picked up by the hauler at each single-family home. This system, using postcards mailed to each resident, provides data specific to the resident, including landfill diversion rate per pickup, how their use of utility compares to others in their community. And I provided handout number 4 to show an example postcard report. This system helps us move from a toss and predict mindset towards making better choices. We all know that feedback through measurement works because our water, electricity, and gas are metered, and it helps each of us moderate our use. Smart disposal provides the meters our disposal utility needs. But I recommend you today that the city conduct a proof of concept study on the feasibility of smart disposal. And I've provided you a proof of concept project plan that shows for about $50,000, the city can demonstrate that the contents of residential containers can be weighed with accuracy and efficiency with no extra work needed by the hauler's driver. Metering and reporting to residents what we dispose of occur provides fairness, helps abate the increasing cost of disposal. This council should support fair pricing for our disposal utility. Thank you.
Right. That is it. And we're on to the consent agenda. There are 4 items for council consideration. Are there any pulled for separate discussion?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Council President.
I move that the council concur with the consent agenda.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Council President Perez, second by Councilmember Prince, that the council concur with the consent agenda as published. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. All right, motion carries. We're on to unfinished business. Councilmember Rivera.
Yes, no unfinished business, Mr. Mayor. I almost jumped the gun there.
All right, Councilmember O'Halloran.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, the Community Services Committee has 2 committee reports this evening.
Great. Community Services Committee report. The first is regarding an appointment to the Renton Senior Citizens Advisory Board. The Community Services Committee recommends concurrence in the staff recommendation to approve the appointment of William Wells to the Renton Senior Citizen Advisory Board for a term expiring December 31st, 2027. This is signed by the committee chair and approved virtually by the member of the board or the committee.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Councilmember O'Halloran.
I move the council concur with the Community Services Committee report.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilmember O'Halloran, second by Councilmember Rivera, that the council concur with the Community Services Committee report. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
The next report is regarding appointments to the Equity Commission. The Community Services Committee recommends concurrence in the staff recommendation to approve the appointments to the Equity Commission for terms expiring according to each position. So first is Jane Ahrens with a term expiring 12/31/2027, Ali Cohen with a term expiring 12/31/2027, Daniel Helmer with a term expiring 12/31/2026, Camila Legal with a term expiring 12/31/2026, and Yanji Liu with a term expiring 12/31/2025. This too is signed by the committee chair and approved by the members.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember O'Halloran.
I move the council concur with the Community Services Committee report.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilmember O'Halloran, second by Councilmember Rivera, that the council concur with the Community Service Committee report. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion carries. All right. Councilmember McGurven.
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember Prince.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, the Planning and Development Committee has 1 committee report to read.
All right, Planning Development Committee report is regarding commercial lease control review. The Planning and Development Committee recommends concurrence in the staff recommendation to not enact city-enforced commercial lease control based on review and analysis of the Seattle Commercial Lease Control Ordinance and Code. This is signed by the committee chair and vice chair.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Councilmember Prince.
I move that the council concur with the Planning and Development Committee report. Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilmember Prince, second by Councilmember McGurven, that the council concur with the Planning and Development Committee report. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
That's all, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councilmember Perez.
Mr. Mayor, the Finance Committee has 12 reports to present.
Finance Committee report. The first is regarding approval of claims and payroll vouchers. The Finance Committee approves the following payments. Accounts payable, total payment, $6,804,125.76 for a number of vouchers, payroll, benefit withholding vouchers, and 3 wire transfers. 2 is payroll, total payment of $1,997,459.63 for payroll vouchers that include 677 direct deposits and 7 checks. This is the March 1st through 15th pay period. And finally, Kidder Matthew vouchers totaling $38,707.34. This is signed by the chair, vice chair, and member.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Councilmember Perez.
I move that the council concur with the recommendation of the Finance Committee report.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilmember Perez, second by Councilmember O'Halloran, that the council concur with the Finance Committee report. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
All right, the next report is regarding the compensation for an evidence technician at step E of salary grade PN58. The Finance Committee recommends concurrence in the staff recommendation to authorize the administration to compensate the candidate for police evidence technician at step E of salary grade PN58 effective April 16, 2025, with previous longevity from prior work experience with the city. This is signed by the committee chair and members.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Perez.
I move that the council concur with the recommendation of the Finance Committee report.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilmember Perez, second by Councilmember O'Halloran, that the council concur with the Finance Committee report. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
All right, the next report is regarding lease addendum 2-25 with Penny Loft, which is our lease number 21001. So the Finance Committee recommends concurrence in the staff recommendation to approve addendum number 2-25 to lease 21001, extending the lease for 2 years, February 1st, 2025 to January 31st, 2027, for 24 parking stalls at the City Center parking garage. This is signed by the chair and members.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Councilmember Perez.
I move that the council concur with the recommendation of the Finance Committee report.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilmember Perez, second by Councilmember O'Halloran, that the council concur with the Finance Committee report. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Okay, the next report is regarding a grant from For Culture. The Finance Committee recommends concurrence in the staff recommendation to approve the staff to accept the For Culture Sustained Support Program Award of $44,000 and sign the grant agreement. This is signed by the committee chair and members.
Very excited about this program, so I move, Mr. Mayor, that the council concur with the recommendation of the Finance Committee report.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilmember Perez, second by Councilmember O'Halloran, that the council concur with the Finance Committee report. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
All right, the next report is regarding a utility bill leak adjustment request for Heritage Hills Apartments. The Finance Committee recommends concurrence in the staff recommendation to approve the adjustment to customer account 005999200, which is Heritage Hills Apartments, in the amount of $2,609.04 for excess consumption caused by a qualified water line leak in accordance with Renton Municipal Code 8-5-23. This too is signed by the committee chair and members.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Councilmember Perez.
I move that the council concur with the recommendation of the Finance Committee report.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilmember Perez, second by Councilmember O'Halloran, that the council concur with the Finance Committee report. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
All right, the next report is regarding a reorganization of the Finance Department. The Finance Committee recommends concurrence in the staff recommendation to approve the reorganization of the Finance Department to add 1 new position, regrade 2 existing positions, and change the reporting structure effective May 5th, 2025. This is signed by the committee chair and members.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Councilmember Perez.
I move that the council concur with the recommendation of the Finance Committee report.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilmember Perez, second by Councilmember O'Halloran, that the council concur with the Finance Committee report. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
All right, the next report is regarding a joint funded human services agreement with Sound Generations for the Meals on Wheels program. The Finance Committee recommends concurrence in the staff recommendation to authorize the mayor and city clerk to execute the joint funded 2025-2026 Human Services Agreement with Sound Generations Meals on Wheels program for $167,864, subject to approval as to legal form. This is signed by the committee chair and members.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Perez.
I move that the council concur with the recommendation of the Finance Committee committee report.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilmember Perez, second by Councilmember O'Halloran, that the council concur with the Finance Committee report. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
All right, the next report is regarding a joint funded human services agreement with the King County Sexual Assault Resource Center. The Finance Committee recommends concurrence in the staff recommendation to authorize the mayor and city clerk to execute the joint funded 2025-2026 Human Services Agreement with King County Sexual Assault Resource Center for $144,758, subject to approval as to legal form. This too is signed by the committee chair and members.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Councilmember Perez.
I move that the council concur with the recommendation of the Finance Committee committee report.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilmember Perez, second by Councilmember O'Halloran, that the council concur with the Finance Committee report. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
All right, the next report is regarding Amendment Number 7 to an agreement with the Department of Health. The Finance Committee recommends concurrence in the staff recommendation to approve the 2020 Washington State Department of Health Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program Incentive Agreement Amendment 7 to accept an additional $25,000 in funding for the Renton Farmers Market for January 1st, 2025 through February 28th, 2026. This is signed by the committee chair and members.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Councilmember Perez.
I move that the council concur with the recommendation of the Finance Committee committee report.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilmember Perez, second by Councilmember O'Halloran, that the council concur with the Finance Committee report. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
All right, the next report is regarding an equitable sharing agreement and certification with the Department of Justice. The Finance Committee recommends concurrence in the staff recommendation to approve the use of available DOJ equitable sharing agreement and certificate funds, $50,000, to purchase 35 new law enforcement rifles to replace older models that have surpassed their life expectancy, ensuring improved safety and performance for officers in the field. This is signed by the committee chair and members.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Perez.
I move that the council concur with the recommendation of the Finance Committee committee report.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilmember Perez, second by Councilmember O'Halloran, that the council concur with the Finance Committee report. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
All right, the next report is regarding a memorandum of understanding with the Seattle Police Department for the Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force. The Finance Committee recommends concurrence in the staff recommendation to approve the MOU, the Memorandum of Understanding, with Seattle Police Department and to approve funds in the amount of no more than $10,000 to support the Renton Police Department's Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force overtime, travel, training, equipment, and software necessary for these investigations. This is signed by the committee chair and members.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Perez.
I move that the council concur with the recommendation of the Finance Committee committee report.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilmember Perez, second by Councilmember O'Halloran, that the council concur with the Finance Committee report. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Okay, the final report is regarding an interagency agreement with the United States Department of Energy. The Finance Committee recommends concurrence in the staff recommendation to authorize the mayor and city clerk to execute the interagency agreement with the U.S. Department of Energy to accept $157,700 of non-matching funds available in 2025. Funding will be used to implement a project that transitions a portion of parks maintenance and public works off-road maintenance equipment from gas-powered to battery electric powered. This is signed by the committee chair and members.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Perez.
I move that the council concur with the recommendation of the Finance Committee committee report.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilmember Perez, second by Councilmember Halloran, that the council concur with the Finance Committee report. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. All right, you guys had a busy night.
Yep.
All right, up next is legislation, and we have none, so we're going to move on to new business. Councilmember Rivera.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. On Monday, April 21st at 4 p.m., the Public Safety Committee will be meeting in the council conference room and via video conference. We have a few items on the agenda. First being the Renton Regional Fire Authority update. Second will be emerging issues, including the Renton Police Department audit presentation, the Evergreen Treatment Services REACH presentation, and an update on 5th and Park North, Park Avenue North. That is all, Mr. Mayor.
Are you on utilities?
I am on utilities as well, Mr. Mayor, and I do appreciate that reminder. Yes, I was not informed that there was going to be an absence today, so I was caught off guard. On the Utilities Committee, yes, Utilities Committee will be meeting April 21st on Monday at 3:15 p.m. There will be two items on the agenda. The first will be an Amendment 1 to the WASP USA agreement for the Lind Avenue Southwest project, and the second will be the change order 1 to RL Elia agreement for Burnett and Williams Storm System Improvement Project. And that is all, Mr. Mayor.
All right, thank you. Councilmember O'Halloran.
No new business, Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember McGurven.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. The Transportation Aviation Committee will be meeting on Monday, April 21st at 5 p.m. in the council conference room and via video conference. There are three items on the agenda, all airport related. First up is appointments to the Renton Airport Advisory Committee. Then we all have Amendment 2 for Century West Engineering for Taxiway Alpha Rehabilitation Project. And finally, lease with Bolsair for a portion of the 800 parcel. That's all, Mr. Mayor.
All right, thank you. Councilmember Prince.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. No new business.
All right, Councilmember Perez.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. On Monday, April 21st at 5:40 p.m., we will have the Committee of the Whole at the Conference Center, and there is one item on the agenda, is Economic Development Update. And on Monday, April 21st at 7 p.m., we will have the council meeting in the council chambers, as well as via video conference.
Okay, what's the wish of the council?
Move we adjourn.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilmember Prince, second by Councilmember McGurven that we adjourn. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Say nay. We're adjourned. Thank you.